This is why I went to Geneva in almost a month ago to advocate for Palestinian observership at WTO. And to be honest, when I heard the official response of the Obama administration that they are not willing to support our observership in the WTO, of course under pressure from Israel, even though all the world, we met with all the different trading blocs in the world, from NAFTA to the EU, to the Arab group, to the Muslim group, you name it, everybody, Latin Americans, Caribbeans, what have you, everybody told us they supported our accession except two countries, unfortunately, Israel and the United States. You know, even Japan, even Canada, etc. What is really bad is that accession as observers was granted to us by the Bush administration. And this is something, there was an agreement that we will participate as ad hoc observers in the Hong Kong Ministerial Conference in 2005, and then after that we will be accorded accession. Unfortunately, the Obama administration is going back on something elementary, basic, that the Bush administration has promised us. It is really unfortunate that the occupation has become comfortable with the status quo. It is happening due to the benefits that the Israeli business community is reaping from their occupation. This is why they are not willing to let go. As the late mayor of Bethlehem, Lias Frege, once said, and I quote, "We cannot live in the state of limbo, whereby we do not know if we are married or divorced, but are being used as a mistress out of wedlock." We are not looking for a state under occupation. We are not trying to make the occupation look better. We don't want a state with provisional borders or a provisional state. Clearly put, we definitely do not want a failed state. What we want to ensure is that a state of Palestine comes into being as a peaceful, democratic, pluralistic, sovereign, and economically viable. What we really want, plainly, is a normal state. The status of the moderates in Gaza, in the West Bank, in Jerusalem, and inside Israel proper is truly worrisome to me. It is very clear that when you declare an area as a terrorist entity, it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. The last days of the Gaza war, when the military operation was winding down, Israel sent its bulldozers to make sure that the job that was started by its planes was, quote-unquote, fully completed. Not only did they destroy factories, and by the way, Human Rights Watch will be publishing a report end of this month specifically on that, the destruction of industry during the last 3 days of the war. I, with our staff in Gaza, as a president of the Federation of Industry, we did the field work, the studies, and it is amazing that more than 50% of the destruction actually took place in the last 3 days of the war. So not only did they destroy the factories with their bulldozers, but also the only secular school catering for the children of the elite in Gaza, which is the American School of Gaza. They were all completely bulldozered. The message to the moderate core was very clear and loud. You have no place here, no jobs, no schools for your children, go elsewhere. It is really bad and sad that almost all the people from the private sector, the major players that I know, that I have been working with for years, have picked up and left. How we will be able to pick up the pieces now is really beyond me. What the next generation in Gaza and in Jerusalem, and to a lesser extent in the West Bank, is being taught is really worrisome to me. According to UNRWA, the UN agency, the children of Gaza are much more extreme now than their parents. When a siege is imposed, people turn inwards. More than 99% of the population of Gaza does not know anything beyond the walls of the Gaza ghetto prison they are living in. The situation in Jerusalem is not much better. I usually don't work on Sundays. At least now when I was a minister, I had to work Sundays, but I'm looking forward for the break on Sundays now. My home in Jerusalem is right next to a school. and I am awakened every morning with the speech that the principal gives and what the children are expected to repeat after him. What the children are being taught in Palestine, in Jerusalem today, is definitely not moderate core thinking. This is not Gaza I'm describing. Gaza is even much worse. We do not have till eternity. We have wasted already too much time, and the reality is that the window of opportunity is actually shrinking. To miss it now will ensure that we are alienating what is remaining of the moderate core of Arab and Muslim societies and of Palestinian society, and will for sure usher in more extreme leaders who are not willing to negotiate. So my question, wide and clear to Israel is, Israel, make up your mind. No more this immoral and illegal out-of-wedlock relationship. Either marry us or let us go. Either a two-state solution or a one-state solution. But to maintain it like this is simply impossible. And of course, to Israel I say, the choice is yours. 3 years back, in a breakfast in Jerusalem with Nancy Pelosi and a group of congressmen, I was asked to make a 5-minute speech. So I spoke about the economic situation in the West Bank and Gaza, and of course on the situation of income differentials between us and Israel, etc., etc. So a congressman who was sitting next to Ms. Pelosi automatically said, "You should stop throwing rockets before you can expect that the economy of Gaza picks up." So, and then he went on and on that he is in support of all Israeli policies, and he made the mistake of saying that, of course, we support for Jerusalem to remain the eternal, undivided capital of Israel. You know, and so I asked him in a very stupid fashion, and how many rockets fell on West Jerusalem from East Jerusalem lately? So he was simply dismayed, and he said, what are you talking about? So I asked Ms. Pelosi and the rest if I can give them some of the socioeconomic data of Jerusalem, a city that has been annexed by Israel in 1968, and a city where supposedly Israeli law is applied. So I would like to give this similar presentation, and in my premise that you'll see at the end, that what we're seeing in Jerusalem today is basically a new Gaza in the making. How do you make it work? Oh, okay. As you all know, Israel annexed Jerusalem in 1968 and proclaimed it as the quote-unquote united capital that should remain till eternity. But in reality, the socioeconomic figures reveal that it's a city increasingly divided. The following slides deal with the socioeconomic situation of West Jerusalem, including the colonies that were built in East Jerusalem versus the Arab East Jerusalem. The data is collected from the 2007 Bureau of Statistics, Israeli Bureau of Statistics, so these are the official data. Unfortunately, the trend continues to get worse. I was looking yesterday at the data that was published yesterday in a new study done by the Macro Center. This is an Israeli center for political economics, and actually the trend continues to get worse. The Macro Center, and here I quote, Israel has expropriated some 35% of East Jerusalem territory, despite the fact that in 20 years the majority of Jerusalem population will be Palestinian. So in 20 years we will have in Greater Jerusalem a Palestinian majority.